Can you hear the music?
Yes, sir.
Gets me right fucking amped. A lot of people can't hear it.
Yeah.
A lot of people can. So it's 50-50.
Really? Huh. Yeah, it's loud and clear.
Maybe the issue is me when they can't hear it. I am still learning my technology.
Yeah, I get that.
And right here. It's coming. Right there. You hear that? You hear that? You just a little pick me up?
Uh-huh.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of On the Throne with Dick. And shout out to Senjin Boychuk for hooking us up with that sweet intro outro music. Love that guy. You can find him on all the socials, mainly on YouTube, I believe. And this week we got the man that likes to move bricks around Salt Lake City. He's good around moving brick. He's well known all across the world now, I guess, as one of the best Freemasons in the world.
Yeah, I got the handshake down, dude.
Jesse Slim Brick Dimmler.
What's up,
AKA just Slim Brick. Not much, buddy. I'm just hanging out at home. I got days off finally. I'm stoked to be home. I'm just hanging out with the wife and kids, and it's good times. So yeah, man, it was a long month. Oh yeah, it was a long month in the bush, that's for sure. This with that cold snap, and then everything else coming back after Christmas and whatnot. It felt like a year. So
yeah, I'm sure. Especially like it was negative 23 Fahrenheit here. So when you guys were posting that it was negative 50 up where you were at, I was like,
yeah,
I don't want double this. Like this is miserable.
Yeah, well, I think minus 40 and minus 40 Fahrenheit are the same. I think they meet up at minus 40, right? So I figured today, what was it? Plus 10 is plus 30 there for you guys. Okay. Something like that. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Yeah. It's
somewhere like that.
So how you been, man?
Good, bro. Just been cruising along up on that job up by the lake and hanging out. Got a nice little week back to work after the World of Concrete, so we're back into it.
Yeah, man, I saw a bunch of you guys went down to World of Concrete, you and Larry, and there was what's his name there? I always see him. I always mistake him for Skylar Bradley.
He was down there, but
yeah, I always see Skylar, and then I see the guy. He's part of the Troll fam there, and he looks exactly like Skylar. I can't remember his name. Shit, I remember it if I see him. I remember it if I saw it for sure. Yeah. And then
I hung out. Yeah. I was gonna say I hung out with Larry, Savannah, Kendall, Jake, Ty, and then I'm trying to think who else was down there. That I know Lexi and like a couple others were down there, but I didn't run into her.
Yeah. So I saw everyone's videos and I saw everyone's content that come out of it, man. And like, I'm gonna spend the next year convincing the wife that it's something we need to do next year.
Do it, man. It's so fun. It's cool to do. Like, it's fun to like go walk around and see everything, but it's also cool to like see everybody, And I think it'd be dope if we planned a little better and got like a cool Airbnb or something. I'll just kind of kick it instead of trying to like find each other.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet. And it's not something like it's World of Concrete, right? So it's not something like an oil field worker would be, known to attend. But like it looks like it's all a whole bunch of trades that kind of just get together, and it's just one big party, right? So
yeah, I mean it's focused around concrete and masonry, but there's like the lot is all tools, like where you saw Lexi and working with Matt and all those guys. They're out there with the Diablo booth and the DeWalt guys and all that stuff. So it's like a big free for all. But then I know Con Expo or Con Ag is 2026, and that's like everything. And I missed that in 2023, but gotta make.
It's every 3 years.
Yeah, that's
where's that one?
So at? Same spot. Las
Oh,
Vegas Convention Center, but it's everything, like encompasses everything.
all right. I'm gonna check that one out too, man. That'd be sweet, hanging out with all these people that, I've seen around the internet, and I
Yeah,
get a chuckle out of their videos, and and rub shoulders
yeah,
with and shit like that, man. Like that'd
yeah,
be just so cool, like people
yeah,
you just see, and other people, like from the outside view, everyone's like, oh man, these guys are like celebrities. I fucking hate that. Like,
no,
like
dude.
man, like we don't need a bigger head than what we already have. Like this, what we're doing already kind of brings a little bit of an ego, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Like it's okay to have an
Yeah,
ego, and as long as you're using it for good, right?
yeah, yeah,
So you got to admit, like it brings about a bit of an ego, right? Because you and me, just two normal blue collar dudes, who the fuck's gonna recognize us outside of the internet if
yeah,
if TikTok and Instagram didn't exist, right?
yeah, yeah. Unless you know what my dad looks like and think that you know him because of me, like that's about it.
You look like your dad, I take it.
Oh yeah, like there's like all the people from his high school, like you look or like his younger years because I'm 30 now, but um, everybody says you look exactly like your dad did, like my whole life. So like I'll have random old dudes walk and be like, "You belong to Shane, don't you?" Yes, sir.
That hey, that's me. I look a little different than when I was swimming out of them, but
Yeah.
still the same. uh, do I look frozen to you?
No, dude, you're good on my
Oh,
end.
you look like you're frozen to me. You're not moving at all. Like
Yeah, no.
very like 0 frames per second kind of thing. But fuck it. Hey,
Yeah.
maybe it'll
Hey.
sort itself out. If not, fuck it.
Yeah, you're fluid to me, and I guess mine, both ends of mine are looking good, but
Yeah, the one I did with Jersey Mike, he looked so
mm,
fucking good, and then me, I'm just frozen the whole time, like son of a bitch.
damn,
Whatever, it is what
he's
it is.
got better Wi-Fi than us.
Yeah, no shit. I'm at home though, so like I should have good Wi-Fi, and I mean the box is right behind me. So if I don't have good
Yeah,
Wi-Fi, someone's got some explaining to do.
yeah, dude, you're stupid clear on mine. So
Hey, that's good. so so man, like masonry, hey, like what do you? So what was it like? It's like a genetic thing, or passed down through the ages, or what? Like I know you said your dad did it.
yeah, so dad, grandpa, great grandpa, fortune in America, and then I know that there was somebody or a couple people back in my ancestry in Germany, but that's not of connection. That's not why anyone was a Mason here. I think great grandpa came back from the war and needed something to do, I guess. So he became a Mason and he did residential, grandpa did residential, and then dad went out on his own, started commercial, and now I'm trying to retire him.
That's badass, man. Your dad's still working.
I wouldn't say he's doing labor, but he's working. He
Oh,
keeps business in front of us, deals with all this bullshit.
that's badass, man. That's bad. So bad. Like fourth generation, man. Like who can say
Yeah,
who can say that they're doing the same thing that their great grandfather did?
yeah, it's cool. Like I 2 years ago got to work on his house that he built. Like I never got to meet him, but these people bought it and they're renovating it and they're moving a window. So they're like, "Hey, a demo's got to come do this." So that was cool. Like those experiences are cool because like I get to meet him, but not meet him.
Yeah, yeah. No,
So
that is pretty cool, man. Did you see any weird shit he left behind in the walls or whatever, or in the brick? Like
not on that.
some
Yeah,
no.
not not on that one. No, just you could see like he was super particular. So there's like there's different ways to tool mortar, right? You got like barrel joiners, wheel rake, stuff like that. But he would wheel rake it out, and then he would come back with a tuck pointer, make everything really smooth. So like it looks really really clean versus the like rake and brush method. Um, and so that's cool to see like that craftsmanship that he had and like try to duplicate that. But nothing weird. No beers, no nudie cans. Nothing.
That would be cool, man. He just, he leaves like a little half naked, like black and white photo of himself somewhere in the wall. It's just like, on the back, he writes to my future grandson, like, what
Yeah.
up? Shit. Man, like,
Yeah.
my dad was a roofer, and my dad's dad was not a roofer. He worked in a factory. And then my dad tried to pass me down his roofing business. But as I said the other day in the group chat, nobody needs to give a roofer any more money than they already have, right? They don't,
Right.
like we've all seen what roofers are capable of here, like.
Hey,
Yeah.
masonry's not much better.
No, I worked with my dad from when I was 11 till I was 18, and it was kind of cool. Your video you made there the other day or today, whenever it was, is like, sitting in the crew truck listening to the songs back then, right? The Nickelback song, and then what it's like now being on the crew, right? Like, that hit me. I was like, yeah,
Good.
man. I used to go to work with my dad and his boys, right? And he paid me cash for the day, and
Yep.
we'd just be listening to music, right? And fucking sometimes that exact Nickelback song.
Yep.
And then fucking, all these years later, I am driving the crew truck, or fucking a part of the actual crew in that crew truck, and just banging along to it, right? Like, yeah, I feel these lyrics now. Back then it was like, this song's so good, only you didn't know the lyrics or what it was about.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's awesome.
No, that's so, your dad took you to work with him a lot then, I take it?
Yeah, bro. I'd go, ever since I was a little kid, play with my Tonka trucks on the sand pile, because back when I was young, like a kid, they still made mortar by hand, shovel 40 shovels of sand, a bucket of lime, a bucket of cement. But so they'd let me play in the sand pile, and then got to the point where they're like, hey, give me the responsibility of like cleaning up the job site, and like I'd get cash, Dad would pay me $10 an hour cash as a little kid. I thought I was fucking king of the hill.
Fuck yeah, man.
Work my way up there.
Yeah, my dad would pay me cash, and I would up until I was about 50, and then he gave me an hourly wage, and he started me off at like $10 an hour, and then when I was 18, he still wanted to give me $10 an hour, and I was like, no, dog, we're not doing that, and then he paid me once a month. Like what I should have been making probably in 2 or 3 days, and then I was 14, and I'd saved every penny I'd made for an entire summer, and I still don't like to spend money, but I saved every penny I made, and I bought the very first iPod that ever came out. It was it was like this fat, like this tall, and like this fat, and
it click wheel.
Yeah, with the click wheel on it. Yeah, I had a glow in the dark case on it, man. The click wheel was so cool, and oh man, I love that thing. I think I still had it. I had it when I was 17 or something like that. I got rid of it. No, 18, because it was just after high school I got rid of it. I was like, it's time to step into the 20th century here, and man, it was cool. I think it held like, for back then, man, it was a lot of songs, it held like a couple hundred anyway.
Yeah. That's one of the Masons still has that. Like, he puts it in his, somehow it is still alive and still works, and he keeps it in. He has like one of those Milwaukee, like the big octagon speakers.
Yeah.
And he just stuffs that thing in there, still has the old cord somehow, and still has the same playlist that he had when I was a kid.
That's crazy. That's badass. So either has the same music on there and hasn't been able to put any more on there, or he's figured out how to hook that thing up to a new age computer and upload. What do we call it? Uploading? I don't remember. I don't remember how you get songs on there. Import. Maybe it was importing. Maybe you learned how to import songs. Yeah, importing songs onto it still, or maybe he's just listening to the same playlist for the last 20-ish years.
Dude, and I'm gonna be right honest with you. I think it's that option, because I don't think he has LimeWire anymore. So
no, on my iPhone, man, I make a new playlist like almost every single time I go on a road trip. I'll make a new playlist, and it's just the same songs on a different playlist every time. I'll add a couple new age ones from like TikTok and shit like that, but for the most part, man, I've been listening to the same playlist since I was in grade 9. So you know, it takes me back. I'll go when I had a dog, I'll go walk my dog and just to listen to that playlist, you know, have like fucking the Backstreet Boys on it and, you know, Nickelback and all that shit from 20 years ago, you know?
Yeah, that's Shania Twain for me.
Hell yeah. So I had this girlfriend in high school. Oh my God, this is mad. This makes me mad. Okay. So like grade 10 or 11, just thinking about it, man, you know, like I had the Shania Twain Up CD, you know how there was two CDs in that album? There was the red side and the green side, right? So she was actually the sister of my friend. And she was also a girl, and we were hanging out, and then I met her sister, and for one day we just randomly started making out on our couch, and then like that's all we did for like weeks, right? Like I just go over there and swap spit, you know, and she was a bit of a nomad, you know. She ran away from home a lot, and one day she asked to borrow it was fucking one of the Don Cherry CDs, one of the hockey Don Cherry Rock'em Sock'em CDs, not the TV show or the DVD, but it had like the best of like NHL music on it from the video games. So I went over and I got that back from her, and she's like, "Can I borrow one of your Shania Twain CDs?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" So she takes the green side. That night she ran away from home, never seen it again, man.
Are you serious?
Oh, she just did me dirty like that, man. I was so mad.
That's incredible. Like that's you would never expect that. Like I know, you know, you said she runs away from it, but like just take see and never see her again.
Yeah, I don't even think her sister has seen her since, right? Like she gone.
What the that's crazy, bro.
Yeah, man. I don't know what I'm more upset about. The fact that I was never able to swap spit on that couch with her again, or my Shania Twain CD. You know, like one of the two pissed me off the most, and I'm still trying to figure out which one. My wife asks us the Shania Twain CD, though.
Yeah. I get that. Yeah. That's between us.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, she can't hear she can't hear through the floors or nothing or not. So it's all good. Yeah. It's definitely the Shania Twain CD. Shit, man.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
how old are you?
31. Yeah,
You're
just turned 31.
Eh? Fuck, still a puppy. You're just like that dog over there.
How old are you?
I'll be 35 in 2 more days.
Oh, don't act like you're old.
Oh, buddy, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Overactive bladder, back pain, joint pain. Is it arthritis or is it cancer? Who knows?
Depends which WebMD article you get in.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? That extra ball that I'm feeling, I don't know if it's benign or not, but if I don't go to the doctor and seek medical attention, it's nothing.
Right. It's a superpower at that point.
It's right. That's right. Yeah. Well, fuck. I say this almost every episode. I'm waiting for Marvel to call. Like, and somehow or another, it always comes back to my dick that Marvel's calling about. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Shit. Awesome. Fuck, man. Oh shit. Oh man. One day. So,
like, even as just an extra, like I hope that I see you just in the background. Like
I'm just like slinging like fucking beams or something out of my dick at like fucking like the Green Goblin. I'm just like Spider-Man with his hands. I'm just like, right? Like, why is this webbing extra slick, extra slippery or sticky or whatever the fuck, you know? Like, oh my god, how do we get off the rails like this all the time? This is cool. I like it. It.
It's good.
Shit. Yeah.
Did you come in here with a plan or
no? Well, yes, I knew I was planning on talking about my dick at least once. So it is On the Throne with Dick, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yeah. So, oh boy.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad we could check that off.
Yeah. Have you listened to the podcast at all?
Yeah, I listened to yours with Jersey.
Oh, fuck, man. Yeah. How'd you like that episode, man?
Good, man, dude. That's a solid ass dude. So
Yeah,
love that
he's
one.
a solid ass guy, and like that was one of my favorite episodes I ever recorded, man. I was super proud of it. When I listened to it back, I'm just like, fuck, man, I did that, and with his help, obviously, and like we did
Yeah.
that, and like to get to know Jersey was fucking. That was cool, man.
Yeah.
You see his story plastered all over the place, but you never really get like the full thing comes out, right? So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was dope.
and you said like it kind of helped you, like himself. He's kind of helped you with your sobriety along the way.
Yeah, dude, he's been there. Like, I mean, he was one of like the really early people that followed me on Instagram. Like once I started doing the blue collar thing, and especially once I posted about the sobriety thing, he was like in my corner immediately, and so that's been really cool.
Yeah, yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, he's good. He's good, homie. He sends me voice chat. We at least do something like once a week. It seems like so. He's a good dude.
Hell yeah, man. I fucking him and I tried to get together for that like 3 or 4 months ago. And when we got together, like we started recording and everybody, me, him, everything was just frozen, right? And we could hear each other, but we couldn't really see much. And I was in camp, so Wi-Fi was shit. And so I'm like, Ben, we should reschedule this for a couple days from now because I want this to go smooth, right? I don't want no fuck ups.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, all right, let's do that. And then for 3 months, we just tried to connect and we couldn't do it. And then one day I'm just like, bro, I'm free. Like you freeze, like let's do it. So we did it. And turns out the Jersey Shore is nothing like Pauly D, Vinny, and fucking The Situation fucking made it sound, man. He's like, no, bro, that's all fake. That's absolute trash. Well, there goes my fucking early adulthood,
It's like they say, never meet your heroes, dude. But Jersey Shore is one of those.
Yeah, what if I ever see Mike The Situation in real life, I'm gonna punch him in the face. He'll kill me afterwards, but like I'll still try.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Shit. Hey, you did you and the old lady, you guys just get married or you're engaged?
We've been married for a little over a year. So
there you go. Yeah, okay.
Not much older than him.
We got married
last year.
Was it your anniversary you guys just went to Disney for?
Let's see. I went. Yeah. Yep. I'm trying to. Yeah, we did go to Disney. That would have been October.
Yeah.
We did the Halloween thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, how'd you like the Halloween Horror Nights?
Yeah, it was dope, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like feeling like a little kid at heart. It was dope. It was fun.
Yeah, the wife and I, we went to Disney World for our honeymoon. It was like a 3-in-1 thing. We went to Disney World it was my birthday, her birthday, and our honeymoon all at once. But our honeymoon, it was like celebrated like, Jesus, it was probably like 4 or 5 years later. And it was actually on my birthday. So I had the birthday button and I got to like go on all the front of the lines for like the whole weekend. Like, today your birthday? I just wore the today is my birthday button the entire weekend, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was good. I got balloons and I got special treatment and yeah.
I hope they gave you a lot of churros. The churros are the best.
Oh my God, the Dole Whip at Disney, man, is fucking amazing, dude. Like, yeah, man. Hell yeah. So how did you know that you were going to follow in your family footsteps? How did you know that you were going to be the next one to take the torch and run with it?
I mean, it's kind of always been there, right? Like it's always been the idea that this would get passed on to, at least from my dad to me. There was the time and place, I was a teenager and like, this like I don't want to do this, even though I'm here and I'm helping. I don't want to do this. I went to college and got like 3.5 years into that, and I was like, there was just some experiences with some professors that like rubbed me the wrong way, and I was like, you know what, fuck it. Like, I don't need a business administration degree. I can just go to work and learn, you know, how to do this, how to actually run the business, and like came back into it and like took slow, but for some reason it like a switch flipped, and I don't know what it was that flipped, but like I remember as when I was younger, like I wouldn't want to be out in my work clothes. Like I would immediately go home, shower, change. But like now, like something flipped, and like I'm proud of this shit. So it's like if you see me in my high vis, cool, like whatever. And something like that was in my early 20s that switch flipped, and then I was like, cool, like I want to do that, like I want to figure this out, and yeah,
Hell yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Hell yeah,
But
man. No,
it
that's
was,
cool.
yeah. I can't tell you what significant event like turned that over, but I just know that at some point in time I was like, no, this is me. Like this is dope. I'm doing this.
Fuck yeah, yeah. This is my fuck it, I'm Spider-Man moment, right? You know, like
Exactly.
yeah. Yeah. I like that. You know, when I was younger, man, I'd get off work and I was pumped about it. I took the bus everywhere at first in my younger days. I'd get off work and I wouldn't want to really be seen in my work clothes. I wouldn't really want. I'm
Yeah,
dirty. I'm too cool for this. I'd go home and
exactly.
I try to rush in under the cover of darkness and have a shower and whatnot. And now,
Yep.
man, like if I'm going out anywhere after work, I want everyone to see how dirty I am. I want them to see my
Yeah.
work boots. I want them to see my coveralls. This is me. This is
Yeah.
who I am, and like I'm proud of that shit.
Yeah. That's what I always get a kick out of, like whether it's troll or something else that I'm wearing, but like going into like a nice restaurant and wearing that because I feel like I'm like with the fancy people. I'm like, yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, yeah,
Something about it feels good now.
yeah. It's like I earned my spot in society, right? And I've learned where I fit in and I belong. And if you're gonna look down at me as the guy who didn't go to school and is blue collar, I'm proud of that. Look down at me that way because I'm looking at
Yeah.
it. I'm taking that as a compliment. Like this is
Yeah.
unapologetically me. So
Yeah. 100%.
hell yeah, hell yeah, man. And I love that. I love
Thanks, man.
that.
Dude,
Yeah,
what
man.
about you? What about you? I'm sorry if you've told this on every podcast, but how did you get to what you're in?
Oil and gas or the backside
Yeah.
of it. Um,
Like yeah, let's go. How did you get in oil gas and then end up in the backside? Let's go through it.
so I moved out west when I was 18 with my wife, and we
Mm,
moved out to the West Coast first. And we were there for a few months. She had family out there, whatnot, and quickly it wasn't us. We quickly learned that it wasn't us, right? And we
yeah.
heard there's all this money out there, and the 2010 Vancouver Olympics were coming up, and in a couple of years anyway, and so they were starting to build for the Olympics, and I got a
Mm,
job helping build for the Olympics, but I didn't stay all that long, so um, we went to Banff, which is the Rocky Mountains,
yeah.
and we worked at a resort for a little bit, and we were only there for like 3 or 4 months, and then
Mm,
it was, well, where are we gonna go next? Because home's not an option. We don't want to go back to Ontario. Fuck that place. So we went to
yeah.
Saskatchewan, and when we went to Saskatchewan, oil and gas is also in Saskatchewan. We settled on Saskatoon. We got a job there at a hotel, and really they only wanted my wife. They just took me along because I came with her, right? So I was
Right.
like their fucking janitor maintenance guy. So I was like, fuck yeah, and I was horrible at it, like trash, right? I was 20 years old. I was like, what
Yeah.
the fuck do I want to do this for? So
Yeah.
I would go into empty rooms and flip the mattresses around and go to fix something, and I'd lay in the bed and just chill there for a bit, right? Like,
Yeah.
fuck this, right? I'm getting paid like $10 an hour.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then and then and then when my wife quit, they started treating me like shit because they wanted her, not me. Right. So I went and worked at Leon's Furniture. It's a furniture warehouse here in Canada. I don't know if they have it there. And while I was there, I met a guy who worked in the oil and gas industry, and he was laid off at the moment, and he was telling me all the certifications I needed to go and work there. So I was really interested.
Mm-hmm.
And so I put into motion to start getting my certs, and then I got fired from there for something I didn't do. Right, I wasn't even working that night, and
Yeah.
yeah, it was really weird. So I said, "Fuck it, I'm certified for. I just got a ticket for there." So I went and started applying because hey, I didn't move out west, the land of opportunity, to work at a furniture warehouse for $13 an hour. Right?
Right.
Fuck that.
Right.
So I started applying all over the place, all over the oil field that I could. And then the first job that sort of called me back, I went to. And
Yeah.
I learned so much from that spot. And then over the years, through layoffs and learning the ins and outs of the business and learning, when to shut your mouth and when to speak up and who on the crew, the hierarchy, the patriarchy, I guess, learning all that, I just molded myself to fit in. And then one day I'm on site. I got this. This is a few years later, and I'm on site, and I'm networking. I network with all the other services on site because I don't want this job. This job is dog shit, and so I met this guy Wayne. And Wayne, I work with Wayne still. I've worked there for almost 6 years, 5.5 years, I guess. And Wayne's still there. And I met Wayne, and Wayne told me where to apply and gave me the number. And so I applied, and that's my journey into the vac industry in the oil field, which is a whole there's the oil and gas industry, but the vac side of things is a whole other beast. It is the dirtiest, most filthiest job, probably one of the most dangerous jobs. You're basically driving around a fucking ticking time bomb all the time. It's a pressurized truck that could go boom, one wrong move, right? And so we're inhaling and absorbing all of the oil fields waste and all of their chemicals and oh yeah, it's great. It's a good time. It's a good time. Yeah.
I hope you're compensated well. I assume you are, but
Oh yeah, no, it's fun, man. Like I said, that
Good.
extra ball I got, it's a superpower, right? It's not cancer.
Yeah, you posted it or sent us a video. What the other day you were like down in a pit, and I was like, God, Dick, like, like you said, you're as dirty as can be. I was like, this man's just going through it. But good for you, dude. If you're in your lane,
Hey man, I love it.
to see it.
Yeah, I love it. And that's just it, man. One day I decided, I was working 6 months straight at a time, right? I hated it. I hated my life, right? I was working. It was the beginning of the pandemic, right? So I was working 6 straight months at a time. Could barely fly back and forth. I've told this part a lot, but could barely fly back and forth, and I was just miserable about it. I needed something to take my mind off things. I was introduced to TikTok. Oh shit! And he disappeared. Oh, and he's back. Are you there? He's there.
We lost him.
Oh, you're good.
There
I see you now. Are you here?
Yep.
There you go.
I lost.
Yeah, so I needed something to take my mind off it. I was introduced to TikTok, started making videos, and it became my outlet. And here we are almost 4 years later, man. We're just loving life and enjoying every minute of it. So, yeah, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. That's dope. That's way cool.
How did you get into the whole social media thing and why? I remember seeing you pop up for the first time on TikTok, and then I went looking for you other places and found you over on Instagram. But yeah, I first saw you on TikTok.
That's where I saw you too on TikTok, and I'd see stuff, and I'd be like, I'd see it, and then I kept seeing more of it, and I was like, okay, this fucker's funny. I gotta follow it, No, so my wife used to have a social media page for a car. She's got a Mitsubishi Evo that she had all done up, and so she was the pioneer of the couple into that. Now she's just been burnt out on it, so she doesn't do it anymore. But she got me started on it, and then my sister would always send me videos of. Have you ever seen Stu Crompton's videos? He does the super satisfying masonry stuff.
I don't. What's his name?
Stu Crompton. He was like the first bricklayer to get 1 million subscribers on YouTube and like all this. He just does like crazy ASMR stuff that's like really, really satisfying. And so they'd always send me stuff and be like, "Hey, Jess, like you like I know TikTok seems like this like little dancing app, but like look at this. You need to pay attention." And so my sister came up with Slim Brick, and my wife was like, "Just film something at work. Like just film something and figure it and posted it." And then kept posting stuff, and then eventually had one of the videos go viral, and that set everything. Then like it jumped from like 8,000 followers to the 40,000. And I was like, cool. Now it got and it just became addicting after that.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
It is.
So
It
yeah,
is
it's
the dopamine
all
rush you
credit
get
to
from
the
there, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like I was talking about in the group chat earlier, I'm like, I can't get it from TikTok because I'm stuck at 98.4. But on Instagram, they're like, hey, let's just keep feeding him, you know?
Yeah, yeah, man, and like I've talked about a lot over the last little bit, right? I try to record 4 or 5 episodes of the podcast. I'll do like 5 in a week, right? And I'll like put 5 weeks ahead, right? And then that way, then I set it up so they just go out and they go out once a week. I concentrate on my content in the meantime, but when I focus on the podcast, my content suffers, right? And I mean,
that's fair.
I've had to learn to be okay with that because I tried to do both for so long, and it just started mentally grinding me down because I work over 100 hours a week, and I gotta be like a father and a husband, and I gotta get sleep in there. I gotta if you don't get any sleep and your mental health starts falling behind, all this is for nothing. So, right. So, I had to learn to be like, okay, I'm gonna pick this up, but I'm gonna set that aside for now. I'm not gonna try to carry both at the same time anymore. Pick it up, work with it, put it down, come back to this a little bit later, right? And I think we're starting to find that balance, that happy balance, right? That happy medium there, and I'm enjoying it, man. We got to the point last week where Mike's episode, I had nobody lined up for the next week, and it was coming quick. Like the episode just dropped, and the next Tuesday was coming, and I had nobody. And Mike's like, I'm in. And then followed by next week's episode was just Megan, electrician Meg, right? I got her. She's good shit, man. Like I don't know if you know anything about her, but
just
and then
kind of service level.
No, the podcast is really good. She's like, I don't know if I'm going to be interesting, if I could do this or not. And then, we look up and it's been an hour and a half. Right. And I'm like, you got this. You got this.
That's
right.
Awesome.
She's young, right? She's young and shy. She's good shit. I like her, we're going to do another episode. We got to the point where we had hours more of talking to do, right? And it's like to be continued, So, then so now I'm just stocking the bank again, right? And here we are, man. And the podcast has been a lot of fun, man. It's designed, to collaborate, in a way, because if we're not going to collaborate making videos yet, we haven't made any yet. But we will. But we're collaborating here anyway. So we're gonna collaborate. I send some eyes your way. You send some eyes my way. We help each other out, and we have a good conversation while all that's happening. It's a win-win-win. So like I this is what I like about it. I get to learn a lot about the people that I see online, and I've been watching for a while, and so. Yeah,
that's dope, dude. I like that approach because, like you said, it's cool to like actually get to know everybody, and this is a cool way to do it because you're creating like a face-to-face interaction. That's like cool. Let's sit down and talk. Even though me and you are miles away. Better, more than like, hey, dude, look at this. It made me laugh. It's like we actually get to meet each other and know each other. That's cool. I like that idea. That's cool.
I don't know if you feel this way or not, but I sure do. Like we're not in the same niche. We're kind of in the same niche, but like I'm in a sub niche from your sub niche, right? Like we fall under the blue collar banner, but then like oil field, and you're in like masonry, right? Or bricklaying. Masonry. So I don't know if you feel this way, but like I feel like all of the blue collar side of TikTok it's pretty competitive, right? Like with like
yeah.
you see this guy make a funny video, and you're like, fuck, that's funny. And then I want to use that same trend or that same template from CapCut. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
saw one of yours with Theo Vaughn's template, and I'm like,
Huh.
I know it. That's funny. That sound automatically popped
Yeah.
in my head. I know what I could do with that, right? You posted
Yeah.
it, and like 20 minutes later, I posted it right in behind you, and like
Yeah.
yours like fucking kicked ass for views and likes, and then I threw mine up there. It did just a little bit better, and I was like,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But then like you threw it on Instagram, and I think yours got like 3 million on Instagram or something like that, and mine didn't do quite
Yeah.
that well. And I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, you can't win them all, I guess, right? And then no, like I don't view it as being super I don't view it like I'm gonna fucking
Yeah.
fuck that guy. I view it as like,
Yeah.
yeah, man, all right, let's step it up a little bit, all right? Let's
Yeah.
and I feel like Rough Iron, like he's done an amazing job at like keeping
Mm-hmm.
everyone on their toes, right? Because he's kind of set the bar for
Yeah.
a little while of blue
Yeah.
collar
Yeah. Dude,
comedy,
he's good.
right? Yeah, he
Yeah,
is,
dude,
man.
he's
And
good.
he talked about it. He's used some of my sounds. He'll see a video I post, he'll save that sound and that
Mm-hmm.
idea, and he'll do it like months down the line, so he's not like looks like he's copying me. But that's kind of
Yeah.
social media is the whole TikTok thing,
Yeah.
anyways.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I do the same thing. I saw one of your videos, and I'm like, I'm doing that later, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
yeah, man. And I did one this past summer that I sat on for over a year, just so it
Really?
didn't look like I was poaching it, right? So I was just like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna take this back and come back to it again another time.
Well, that's Larry, dude. Larry has like 500 drafts. Like on
Yeah,
TikTok, he just has like 500. Like, it's
yeah,
crazy how deep. Like he could post every day for a year and never record like another thing. It's wild. Like the
yeah,
dude is the dude is a machine.
yeah,
Great.
yeah. What does that say about him, though? Right? Like his work ethic.
Yeah.
Larry's
Yeah.
listening. Larry's listening. Get to work, Larry. No, I
No,
love
that's
that guy.
awesome.
I love that guy, man. I don't have drafts anymore. When I first started, I could stockpile drafts left, right, and center, right? But as
Yeah.
time went on, it was like, well, shit, man. Like I used to post 3 to 4 times a day when I first started, right? Just to get
Same.
traction and
Same.
get followers and shit. And now, like
Yeah.
once or twice, two times a day now is really good. Like I'm doing really good if I'm twice a day now. But there
Yeah.
are times where like I'll go a couple days where I won't post anything, right? And like
Mhm.
and I feel like once you get your following and once you start growing pretty good, like you can get away with that, right? Like you're at a good pace and you're just chilling there. You're like, you know what? I don't need to burn myself out to get to I'm not trying to get to 1 million. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to become the most popular dude out there. 70 I'm almost at 73 or 74,000 on my main TikTok account. I'm good.
Yeah.
If I get to 75 in 6 months, I'm good. If I get to 80 in 2 years from now, I'm good. Like I'm happy where
Yeah.
I'm at. I'm content. So,
Yeah.
now on
That
Instagram on the other end.
Well, dude, you're good in the right places, dude. Like your Facebook and all that stuff. Like you're on the ones that actually help
Oh
pay the
yeah.
bills and monetize and stuff. So like it's dope to see. Like, and same with you and Larry. Like I see you guys in that regard. I'm like, cool. I need to get my shit together and be, like Dick and Larry and get these avenues that actually pay me and like reward me for that and like actually take care of my real life shit. So that's cool to see. Like especially in that regard.
Do you want to hear something crazy?
Yeah.
I'm Canadian. I don't get paid on Instagram or TikTok.
That's wild. So just Facebook page.
Just Facebook.
Dang. See, and that's like TikTok was the only one that's paying me besides, Facebook and brand deals. But
Yeah.
I've never been invited to the Instagram one. And
Yeah. Yeah. And I just had
I have no idea how that works.
I just had my one video there on Instagram is sitting at, it's still climbing a little bit. She cooled off, but she's just over 12 million views now from like a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
I can only imagine how much I would have got paid off Instagram from that.
Yeah. Like that's because, especially when they do the bonuses, like,
Yeah.
I had one that was at 3 million that paid me $1,200, so I can't imagine what 12 million would do,
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. And
What? I'm
that
mad
was,
now. Shit.
shout out to Larry, dude. Like that was all it, because I met him in person for the first time at World of Concrete last year. And he was like, dude, you need to get on Facebook. He goes, I know it's an old people app and like I know everything about you. He goes, get on Facebook and just start posting stuff. And the right as I signed up, there was one of the performance bonuses that they got rid of now. And it was like, if you can get 3 million views, we'll give you $1,200. And I was like, cool, I know the video. Like I know exactly which video to piss all of these people off. So I posted a video of the clean clothes crew thing that I got a cease and desist about, but I got my $1,200, paid my mortgage with it, and then took it down. So.
Hold on. What was the cease and desist for? I think I might have like caught wind of this a little bit, but I go into that. What did you get that for?
Okay, so I got a cease and desist on this was that first viral video that I posted on TikTok, and this was like the first time that I was like I would sit and open my phone, it would just keep going, and I was like, what? Like, open it again in 20 minutes, it's just going, and I was like, this is insane. We're in a job, and it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's confidential, right? But we didn't sign anything. There's no roof on this building. Like you could fly a plane over it, you can fly a satellite over it. It's not protected that well. You know, it's tilt up concrete walls around me. We're doing 60,000 block in the middle of it. We're on the inside, and I'm up on like a 30-foot wall looking down, and there's two masons on my side, and so that the commentary on it was funny. But there's like the scientists, the office people from the general contractor, the project manager, all these people are like, "Oh, we want to lay a block to say we did this," and it just set up the perk because it's right in front of me of this video, and I zoom in on the guy, and it was like when the clean clothes crew tries to do your job because they're all shiny, right? You know, they're all like nice pants, nice vest, white hard hat, and this dude is just struggle fucking that block. Like it's it's in like laying block. It's not that hard, bro. Like it's hard in the sense of like getting an imperfect object to look perfect and hit your heights and all that stuff. But to just put one in the wall to say you did it, you can figure it out. But the video just panned out perfect, and you've got the commentary of like the two journeymen next to me making fun of him, and this video blows up, and I go through work the next day, and then the following day after that, I go to work and we're done with this high wall, so I'm down on the ground now, and the foreman at the time comes over to me because we're helping a different company because they were behind, and the foreman Sean comes over and goes, he's like, "Bro, 9 million fucking views, really?" I was like, "How do you know about that?" I was like, "How do you know that?" He goes, "We just had a whole meeting about it." So the general's office gets wind of it because people were sending it and like sending it to the superintendent. We're like, bro, isn't this you? Like, and so he gets it. He gets a hold of it, and then everybody gets a hold of it, including the dude that was trying to lay the block. And they get all upset because China owns TikTok, and no one's know about this over here. And I'm like, again, there's no roof on this building. It's just there's nothing but a concrete pad, masonry units, and rebar at the moment. And so they're like all thrown a fit about that I took this video in a confidential area that I never signed an NDA about, which really in reality they're just embarrassed that they were on video doing what they did.
Yeah.
And
they were in the
so he comes
struggle
over.
fuck of their life, and
Yeah.
it was filmed.
Yeah, and it blew
They
up.
wouldn't care if it got 1,200 views on it, but 9 million.
No. Yeah, and like so he comes over and he's then like the office people, like not the people in the video, but like the super's office. So the superintendent, who he was a cool dude, he's fine. Him, and they're like, "Hey Jess, like we need to talk about this." I'm like, "Okay, what do you want me to do? Like, can you take it down?" Like because of those reasons. I was like, I don't want to because my dopamine is fucking way up here right at the moment. But so they end up like asking me to remove it, and yada yada, and they so I remove it, and then I was like, we finished the job, and like 2 months later, I was like, maybe they've all forgot about it. So I reposted it because I was like, I want a dopamine hit. So I reposted it, and it does the same thing, bro. Like, just booms up to like 5 million views, and our office, which is my mom, gets another email of like, hey, yada yada, this about the contract. It was like yada yada, this will void contract. Either you take it down, or they're gonna like file suit or whatever they got to do, because this is supposed to be a confidential job site and all that stuff. And so like we get a good laugh about it. Like my dad's like, look at this shit. Like he's like, just take it down, please. But like it's funny to all of us, and we all know the real reason is the guy's probably got hurt.
Yeah.
But and now it's funny because that general contractor, like, there's people will get to new jobs now, and they'll come up to me and be like, they're stoked that I'm at the job site, because they're like, oh, dude, you're the guy, like you're the brick guy on TikTok. I'm like, yeah, and so it's just funny to see how that's progressed. But like, I still can't post that video, even though I used it on Facebook, which was like a year later to hit that bonus. I posted on Facebook just to post it, and I think it made it 3 days before my mom got another email. It was like, seriously, stop posting this.
Shit, that's funny.
So yeah, so that's since then, I've learned how to blur out company logos and things like that. But
yeah, my
like,
my boss
crazy.
has made me take down 3 videos in the last 3 years, and all I do is private them, and then a
Yeah.
few months later, I'll make them unprivate again. I'll put them back to
Yeah.
public, and like it's so far. Like I just did one from like a year ago, and it's so far down there, no one's seeing it anymore. It's not gonna get views on it. It's so far down there, right?
Yeah.
But you never know. Maybe it's still ready to pop out into the fucking. That'd be really funny, actually. But like a
Yeah.
whole. Like I posted the video. So when I work on a vac truck, we got to take our loads, our debris, our waste to like the oil field dump, right? And the place is called
Okay.
Secure, right? They got little
Yeah.
Secures all over the place. And I made a video on the pad, right? And so but all you could see was a little corner of the wall behind me. No logos, no nothing. Someone in Calgary, which is southern Alberta, someone in Calgary at head office saw my video, right? And they just saw the corner of the wall. They're like, I know where that is, right? And it blew my mind. It blew my mind. They immediately fly all their big wigs up there. This is like 6 hours away. They like flew all their big wigs up there, had a safety stand down. They told them, they're like, hey, this guy made a video and he called you guys a bunch of idiots and he made you look like fucking assholes. And they're all looking at me. They're all looking at each other and they're like, we follow him. He didn't say anything about us. We saw the video, but we didn't know where it was. My boss calls me and he's like, hey, man, so you weren't wearing your safety glasses out on the pad the other day? And I'm like, no, man. I made part of that video out on the running board of the truck. I was technically in the truck still. And he's like, I know where you were standing. He's like, I can see it. He's like, just take it down, man. They don't, no, they're not going to let you back there if you don't. I'm like, all right, whatever. So I took it down. And I had to get reorientated because I don't follow rules. And I was like, okay, cool. So it's been like, fuck, man. It's been like 2 years almost. I just made it private. I put it back up there a few months ago. I was like, fuck you guys. Like, I don't care. What are you going to do about it now? Like, fuck it. Yeah,
That's
man.
awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, dude. And, we're all, we talk about it all the time on the podcast. We're all towing that line where, cell phones were never allowed on site before, right? It was like, keep your pictures and your videos away. But what have we all learned from corporate is that they suck the big one when it comes to marketing, right?
Absolutely.
And who's doing all the marketing for these companies now?
Yeah, it's us.
We are.
The industry itself, construction or blue collar work has a marketing problem. And so it's because you see like Brock, the blue collar dad, they made him take down all of his crane videos. And I'm like, do you not think that kids see him and they're like, I want to fucking do that?
I want to
Like,
be that guy. Yeah, they do.
yeah,
They fucking do. They see what that guy is doing and they love it, right?
yeah,
And they're just
because it's
like, man,
cool.
blue collar has a big issue with marketing, dude, and they need
Yeah.
to change that. They need to realize the guys on the ground, the boots on the ground, the guys that are behind the controls, the guys that are like, even if they're like pushing a shovel, you
Mhm.
know, they are the people that are gonna bring you your future, right? And that's it. They got to realize that. It's
Yeah,
simple.
100%. Well, it's like anyone in the last year or so that we've hired has been because they follow me. Like that's the God honest truth.
Yep.
And so
Yep.
it's obviously working, like it's wild that I mean the next guys up the like that are way up in the office can't see that, like, hey, we clearly have a labor issue. How do we solve it? I know, tell that dude to put his fucking phone down and stop recording. Like, you stop making funny videos.
Yeah, making your job look desirable and fun, and not making it look like we're just robots getting paid and getting
Yeah,
paid from the neck down, essentially, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
um, my boss is kind of clued into that. He made me set him up a Instagram and Facebook page for the company last week and
yeah.
or 2 weeks ago now, and I'm sort of running that on the side for them now, and it's just like, man, like
Oh,
the hiring poster we put out, all my
mhm,
coworkers shared it to their Facebook and Instagrams. My boss told me not to share it to mine. He's like,
yeah,
no. He's like, the last time you did that, man, like we could not keep up with the resumes, right? And it's just,
that's
yeah,
awesome.
dude,
Yeah,
that's just fucking it, man. You want the people, get
yeah,
your guys on the ground, just start making videos about how cool their day to day is.
yeah, 100%. And that's yeah, it's I mean, we're family business, but it's the same thing. Like my dad thinks it's cool. So like even the day that like the cease and desist, my dad thought it was hilarious. He goes, "No, you're promoting what we're doing." He goes, "Keep." He goes, "Until we got the cease and desist." He was like, "Leave it, fuck them." So he's cool, and like I always get those comments of like, "Doesn't your boss get mad that you're filming like that you take this time to do this?" I'm like, "Well, first off, it takes 10 seconds to set up a camera at this point, but like, no, he
Yeah,
thinks it's awesome." Like. He gets it,
yeah,
which is cool.
yeah.
So it's cool to hear that your boss also gets it. Like I'm glad to hear more and more are
He didn't at
understanding.
first. Three years ago, almost 4 years ago, didn't get it, didn't like it. I wasn't allowed to use the trucks. I wasn't allowed to take it out on site and use it. One day I made an ad. And this is where it all changed. I made an ad for him. And I was just
Hmm.
fucking around. I had all the trucks in there. I was waiting till they were all together, and I had them all sitting right there. And I had we're working on the vac industry, but we have a septic side that goes around and sucks all the shit up, right? And
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, is your poop in a group? Are your turds in our herd? Is your soil in a coil? Or yeah. And like, if you answered yes to any of that, call us today, right? And I showed all the trucks, and I'm like, we got
Yeah.
straight vacs, we got combo vacs, and for those really big loads, we got semi vacs, which are like fucking 30,000 liter trucks, right? 30,000 cubes or
Yeah.
30 cubes, and like at the end, I said. Because in this, we got to stick together basically. And it was like, because in this liberal economy, we're all in this shit together, right? And I filmed me getting into the truck, and man, like I asked him, like, man, can I post this? He's like, leave it with me and I'll get back to you. I'm like, okay. A
Yeah.
week later,
Yeah.
nothing. So I messaged him like, man, can I post it? He's like, all right, I'll send it to my boss and I'll ask him. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So a couple days later, I asked him again. He's like, in like a couple hours after I asked him, he texted me. He's like, go for it. Posted it. 50,000 views on it, like almost within a couple hours. And
Yeah.
next thing you know, I'm going up to our other division, our other branch, like fucking 7 hours away, and I'm filming one for them, right? Like,
Heck
what
yeah.
the
That's
fuck,
awesome.
man? Yeah, man. And
That's awesome.
yeah, it was a good time. And then I took that as my permission to start using the trucks and the logos and all the videos. I never asked. But after I
Yeah.
did those, I'm like, I just assumed it was game on. So that's
Yeah.
when my social media really took off. And
Yeah.
so I started using all the trucks, and it got to the point there for a little while. I'd gone by where I got him a big contract, right? Like the guy reached
Mm.
out to me and was like, "Hey, I just called your boss." He's like, "I got this contract that I have, this project work, and I want you guys to be there, and I want you specifically to be on site." I never ended up being on site with them, but they got this big contract because of me. So I asked, I'm like, "Hey, can I get a raise?" And they pretty much
Yeah.
laughed me off the phone. And
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh, well, we're thinking about putting you on our website, though." And I'm like, "That don't feed my family. What the fuck?" Right? So
Yeah.
I stopped using the trucks in my videos for a little bit, and then the owner of the company he reached out. He's like, "Hey, how come you don't use the trucks anymore?" Right?
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna tell him it's because he's a cheap cunt, right? and
Yeah.
but I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I will eventually. I use them in there once in a while now. Just throw it in there, whatever. But yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna have a little talk if I'm gonna continue running the social media page for them. We're gonna have a little talk about a raise here. I brought it up a little bit last week about how I think you'd pay what you pay me now. You'd pay at least for one social media person, right? So
Yeah. 100%.
100%, especially if they know what they're doing, if they're good, you're gonna pay that person what I'm asking for, right? And you're
Yeah.
gonna get more out
Yeah.
of me because I work here. I know what goes on in my day to day, and I'm one with the crew. I can get you pictures and inside videos and scoops that they can't, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, we're
That's
gonna have
awesome.
that
Yeah.
conversation again here soon. So, um, I
Yeah.
got
As you
offered.
should.
I got offered what I'm doing right now. I got offered from a rival company, like a competitor, a year and a half ago. I got offered to go work for them to do what I'm doing. Just started doing now. They wanted me to run their social media, and they were gonna get. He promised me the world. It sounded like it was too good to be true, right? So,
Yeah.
and I like my boss. I like my boss's good shit. I wouldn't if I'm gonna leave him. I'm not leaving him for a competitor, right? So,
Right.
yeah.
No, that's dope though. That's dope that those opportunities are coming in you because you deserve it. Like you're doing good things. So that's cool. That's cool to
Yeah,
see.
yeah, man, it's a lot of fun, man. I'm having a lot of fun with it, and pushing the limits to see how far I could go, right? When
Yeah.
when I was before I was on TikTok, I was all over my Facebook. I was being rude, crude, fucking, I was going from ban to ban to ban, like 30-day ban to 30-day ban on Facebook, and I learned how to be funny without being offensive, right? So
Right.
you know, I made a video in my early days on TikTok, and I'm like, I think it's wild that kids these days could be meme lords, right? And get paid
Yeah.
for it. And like those were the early days, and here we are 3 years later. And I'm a fucking meme lord. I made it.
You did it.
Fucking
I
made it,
love
bro.
that. I love that.
Hell yeah, man. Hey, I got a question for you.
So,
Do you know what viscosity is?
like with liquids, right? Like
Yeah, the
I
thickness of
do. I
liquid.
just yes.
The thickness
Yes.
of a load, right? So, where I'm going with it, if you listen to Mike's podcast, where I'm going with it is the podcast is sponsored by the Mudman. The Mudman it's the guy in the rig that deals with the thickness of the mud going down hole, right? They got to test the mud to see if they got to thicken it up or thin it out a little bit, So, the Mudman sponsors the podcast. Shout out to the Mudman, for all your drilling fluids and laboratory testing equipment. He's a dude come out with like some sick fucking technology, like compared to how some of the guys were doing it back in his day. Nowadays, they got life a little bit easier. They got life by the balls, bada bing, bada boom, and so,
Yeah.
www.mudmarket.com and the Mudman dude, he's the reason I got a mic, and he's got the reason I got a headset, and solid fucking dude. I love the guy. I can't believe the podcast has a sponsor, so I'm stoked.
That's so sick. That's awesome.
Hell yeah,
Shout out to
man.
that guy. Shout out to the Mudman.
Shout out to the Mudman for bringing us
That's
thick
awesome.
loads.
That the meme I posted the other day of the apprentice when he doesn't fuck up, and I captioned it. I love when they can handle the load. There's so many comments that are like, bro, they're like, that caption's gotta go. Like
That was Theo Vaughn template, wasn't it?
Yeah, him and Shane Gillis.
Yeah. I saw that, and I'm like, man, that's one of the ones I'm talking about. Where like, I got something for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you bring me down here and make me come, dude?
Oh shit. I'm redoing a lot of my older videos now in troll gear and
I'm trying to too.
yeah, I'm redoing some of the ones that did fairly well, or even if they didn't do fairly well, they just fit good. I'm trying to redo like I redid 2 of them today. I redid like I'll buy another one. I'll buy another one. And I'll buy fucking 5 and Smash 4 if I want, right? And it was the hats, and then the I hope she brought her Costco card because she's about to get dick in bulk, right? And I was just like, yeah, man, like, yeah. I had to redo that shit in my troll gear, and I love that, and I learned that from Larry actually. Reposting your old content. He's like, nobody knows your content like you do. And with more and more people following all the time, right? Like there's a lot of people that haven't seen some of your old content, right? So repost that shit. Get a whole new fresh eyes on it. That one that has 12.1 million views is from 2 years ago. And it did not do that well the first time. I can tell you that much.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. And that's like because I have a lot of my TikTok videos are like me actually talking, or like it's some like whether it's a leadership principle or like learning something or something like that. So that's a good way to think about it, is like I should go back and redo those in what I know now, because those views are 2 years old, like you said. It's like I could have a different perspective, plus I could have the right gear on.
Yep,
That's a
100%.
great idea.
And you're like a foreman now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. You got promoted to foreman a couple months back.
Yeah. So I've been just ran my first job last year, and now I'm on to the second one, which is wild.
That is pretty cool, man. That is pretty cool. I saw that one girl on TikTok or maybe Instagram. She went to World of Concrete, and she was like, she won like the bricklaying contest or something. Like she was, I don't know.
Ashton.
So the way she was doing it was just so like it was fulfilling. You know what I mean? Like watching her like spread the mud out, put the brick down, like take out with the leftover, put it on the next side. It was like, man, that's fucking cool. I couldn't do that. I could probably do it if I wanted to, but not as nice or as fast.
Yeah, and that's the thing of like brick masonry itself, right? Because you're, hey, what? He's like, Dad, for the love of God. But brick, so like it's a small. It probably weighs like a pound, so it's easy to maneuver. It's easy to manipulate. But it's the efficient and proper that's the hard part, right? So like, you could stand there and put 100 brick on the wall. Like it's not that hard to put 100 brick on a wall in a mortar mess, but it's hard to do 100 brick quickly and proper, like with all of your joints, everything lining up. And that's what Ashton had won, and she's a 2-time skills champion. Like she's not in there for speed. Like even though the competition she participated in at the World of Concrete was a speed one, and she beat the UK bricklayer, the Bricklayer Social Club guy. But Ashton's won for her skills, which is cool. So like she's super talented and super clean and knows exactly what she's doing. That's why she's teaching all those kids in Texas, and it's dope to see. Like you said, she makes it look super satisfying. So that's cool.
That's badass. Yeah, man. It was like I'm not a mason. I'm not a mason, and I don't really see too many videos like that out of you, right? Like you said, you talk a lot, or like you have some templates and stuff, right? So like it was cool to see like her do that, and like I don't do it. I don't do it. Like I didn't think I'd have any interest in watching something like that, but it turns out I'm watching it.
Yeah. No, and I like. Personally, between you and I started steering away from it because it was like, it's far easier for me to curate like a positive environment in what I do versus like if I post my work, there's always some shithead that's like, which I'm making fun of now. In my last 2 videos, there's always some shithead that's like, oh, you're doing this, and like it just turns into like no matter what like proper way you do so, like no matter how much training you have, there's always some shit on the internet, right, that knows more than you.
Yeah.
And like I hated those comments. Like I hated dealing with it. It just would annoy me because like for every 100 great comments, my brain would fixate on that one asshole, and I'm like, cool, I'm just gonna eliminate this from my life, and I'll do funny shit or focus on like the leadership, the sobriety, those things, because you can't be a dick in those situations. And then, but now it's to the point of like, whether it's I don't know, it's because I have the number of people that follow me or the mental fortitude or whatever. So it's like, oh, I'll just post my work and who cares what's commented. But like in the beginning, it was like those comments ate me up. I was like, screw this. I'm gonna do this instead. But
Yeah,
those videos are fun to make as well.
Those comments have never got me down. You know what I mean? Like I've always
Good.
had fun with them. If you're gonna be I actually had and I've talked about it a few times. I actually had a segment on my main TikTok account that I had to stop. It's called Dick's Dipshits. And it was anyone who made a stupid comment and came at me, I put them on blast, right? And I'm like,
Yeah.
welcome back to another episode of Dick's Dipshits. Today we have this dipshit over here, right? And
Yeah.
I just tore them apart. I went down their page and I'm like, look at this guy being an idiot doing this, yada yada yada. And I stopped for two reasons, but the main one was someone commented and I'm like how do you, and I put them on there and she commented back, she's like, I'm 13, I have no idea, I was just asking. And I'm like, I just called out a 13-year-old girl. So I'm like, all right, I'm sorry, right? Like, and I'm like, that's not where I want to take my content anyways. It's not what I want to be known for. And B, I had COVID at the time, so Dick's Dipshits only lasted like a week, and I was stuck inside. So I was like, yeah, you know, are you there now?
Okay, that was weird.
There you are. Are you? Did you turn your Wi-Fi off?
No, it's still on. I just.
Oh, your video's way better.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's good.
Yeah, you were pretty glitchy and a little shitty there, like a little like whatnot there. It was in and out. I was surprised our audio wasn't fucking up a lot sooner. So.
Oh, well, good. I'm glad. Hopefully this makes us better.
Yeah. So I stopped it because I
heard you talk about the
Yeah, the 13-year-old girl. I didn't want my content to go that way. Plus, I had COVID and I was stuck in my room, so most of those videos were made over the course of like 2 weeks. So I didn't want that. And plus, I was a much bigger creator than those people. Like I had a lot more numbers behind me, and I didn't want to be responsible. And I can't control what all those people are doing. I didn't want to be responsible for someone else's bullying, you know. So. And also I didn't want to blow someone else up either, right? You know what I mean? Like Eminem doesn't go after everybody that comes at him because, you know, he's just sending them traffic. And that's why I avoid other creators that try to call me out, because I'm just like, you can call me out on my shit or whatever, but I'm going to ignore you. Because if you make a video about me and you have like 50,000 followers, 50,000 people are going to go over to my page now, right? And when they get there, they're not going to see nothing directed back to you, right? They're going to go down my page and look for it, and they're going to watch my content and maybe stick around and hit the follow button, right? So, so I don't go after, I stay at drama for the most part, but for that reason, it's not because I want to avoid the drama. It's because I'm going to counteract your bullshit with getting followers out of it. So fuck you.
Perfect.
I'm playing the long game. I'm playing the long game on the internet.
Chess, not checkers. Yeah.
Fuck right. Yeah. Checkmate.
Fuck I always try to do the like. I would always try to do the like. Someone would say like some out of pocket rude shit, and I'd be like, "Hey, bro, I hope you have a better day." Like, and then just carry. And like that one was always fun because it was me, like it felt like an old Southern lady being like, "Hey, bless your heart," you know?
Yeah. Oh, bless your heart, sweet.
Bless your heart, sweetie.
Yeah, and I had I was friends with someone on here who turned out to be a complete douchebag, and he used to say a lot to everybody. I hope you have the day you deserve, right?
That's a
And
good one.
I
That's a
like
good
that.
one.
I like
Yeah.
that one. And when he actually threatened to kill me on a live stream once, and I wasn't even in the live stream. Threatened to come to my house. The cops got involved and everything, and I stayed the fuck out of it as much as I could. But I did make
Okay.
a video about it. I'm like, man, I did make a video about it. I'm like, I'm only gonna say this once, come at it about it one time, and that's it. We're gonna let it go. And at the end, I ended it with, I hope you have the day you deserve. And I ended the video, and fucking
Yes.
that was it, man. That was it. And I was just like,
Yeah.
whatever. And yeah, he knew where I lived, so we were
Yeah.
friends for a while, right? He helped me move into my house, so
That's
yeah,
crazy, bro.
yeah, he
That's crazy.
yeah, there was a lot going on there. I'm not gonna get into his shit, but he wasn't
You're good.
well. So yeah, he wasn't well.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no, man. So
That's unfortunate.
yeah, when did you get into troll, and like, how did you get into troll, and yeah,
Okay, so Troll, actually I was looking at it because I was helping Spartan because he was trying to get he only had a customer account, and I was like, bro, where's your reversion or whatever, which is the affiliate program. He was like, I don't even know what you're talking about. I was like, okay, the email looks like this, and because I sent it to him, I think uh is today the first, the second, the third, February 3rd will be a
first,
year for me.
wow,
Yeah. So February 3rd will be a year with Troll. And at the time, like I had the TikTok, but the Instagram wasn't doing anything. And I don't feel like Troll really peruses TikTok that much anyway.
yeah, I don't think so.
But
I think they stay off that for the most part.
yeah, which seems to be the case with a lot of brands, whatever the bad rap is. But I had posted there was a video. It was like he's a 10, but his alarm wakes you up at 6 a.m. every day. And I had the support blue collar hoodie on. And that was the one that they were finally like Brian found. It was like, hey, like here's how you apply to be an ambassador, all this stuff. And at the time I had like 2,000 followers on Instagram, which was so cool to like, oh cool, like they recognized me, but yeah, I just filled that out, and I think at the time there was like 30 ambassadors, so now to see that we're almost to 100 is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty
But
neat.
yeah, and only lives like 45 minutes from me. Not that we've hung out or met, but he's pretty close.
Is that
But yeah,
Tron?
that, yeah, yeah,
Tron lives close to you. Nice.
yeah. He's like, there's a mountain range like right here. If I would go through the canyon and down, he's like right there. So it's
Fuck, that's not bad. Fuck,
um, yeah, yeah,
nice, man. What's your
yeah.
code?
Slim 10.
Slim 10. So if you
Yeah,
guys
so
are listening to this and you want to get your dirty hands clean money gear, your support blue collar
yes,
stuff,
sir.
uh, use Slim 10. You could use Frost 10 if you want, but it's all about supporting each other. So Slim
Yeah.
10 over here is his code, and save yourself 10%, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate you.
Fuck
I'm
yeah,
surprised.
man.
Did they not let you use Dick 10?
Oh, they didn't even ask. They probably would have let me, but they
I
asked,
had
and
to
I'm like,
ask. I'm
oh,
sorry.
most of the codes I have for the other affiliation, I never got to choose them, so they were all Frost 10 or Frost
Uh,
8910. So I just went with Frost, because there's like 5 or 6 of them out there, and I don't want to try
yeah,
to remember like different codes, so I'm just like, fuck, Frost 10, right? And
that's easy.
so
Yeah,
yeah, that's easy. I just stick with that, and yeah, man, it's golden, dude, and I love it. And I
yeah,
was wondering how to go about getting a part of that for a while actually, and then
yeah,
I reached out to them and asked if they would come on the podcast. I wanted to have them on the podcast, and they're like, "We'll hook you up with one of our affiliates to come on." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And they
yeah,
hooked me up with Ink's blue collar there, Chris. So and
yeah. Chris, I love that dude.
it turns out Chris was already following me, and I was already following him. I'm like, fuck, I didn't know you were an affiliate. What the fuck, right? And then
Yeah,
I asked him how to go about it, and he hooked me up with Tron. And then um, what I like about them, they don't seem to care about follower count, right? Like there's some accounts, there's some people in there that like they don't have that many followers, right? And that's huge, man. They don't put any value on what you bring to the table as far as a large number of people that got eyes on you. They're like, hey, if you're blue collar and you make videos, fucking come on board.
Yep. Yeah. As long as you do like dope shit and you're dope, that seems like, cause yeah, like you said, there's like a couple people that are in that like 500 to 3,000 range, and it's cool to like know that the company we're a part of is aware of like how important like a micro influencer is as well. Cause I think like that person's way more connected to those couple people than like I might be to 52,000 people, you know?
Boom.
So it's awesome to see that. Yeah. And it's awesome to see that and see that that's recognized. And
that is huge.
Yeah. That's
yeah.
That and like you said, it's cool to know that they're not like, oh, we only care about like the girl over here with the ass with like 1 million followers. It's like, no, like everybody's included. That's dope. That's cool.
Speaking of which, I'm trying to get Liv Taylor on the podcast.
You want me to?
I've reached out to her.
I'll shoot her a DM.
I shot her a DM and I reached out. She followed me back, but she didn't get back to me yet about the podcast. This was like 2 months ago. I reached out. I'm trying to get Liv Taylor on. Dude, that would be a badass podcast. I have a feeling like she's a badass.
She's cool.
Yeah, she's cool a bad bitch. Super nice. Dude. Like, yeah, dude, you can just see it. She's down to earth, and she's she just doesn't give like she could take or leave the social media thing, right? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right. And it's there, so she's gonna utilize it. But like if it wasn't, she'd still be herself.
Yeah, which is dope. Yeah, and she's just bust ass every day. Like, and that video she posted the other day of like her in those little tiny spaces welding, I was like, no.
Yeah.
Like, good for you. I'm glad that.
I go in little vessels like that all the time for work, like confined spaces and shit like that, but never welding, right? I don't have to worry about the welding fumes on top of what I'm doing, right? So, yeah, man, that's crazy. I love watching her videos for that reason. She is pretty cool. She's a pretty cool chick, and her videos, man, her videos are also really cool.
Yeah, she's super nice. Like, honestly, everybody in like, I was talking with Electrical Shit the other day, and he brought it up because he's like, it's crazy to be involved in a group like you, Larry. Me is who he mentioned. He's like, I looked up to all you guys, and now I talk to you like every day, and so it's cool to like I know I made the joke earlier about never meeting your heroes and never meeting Jersey Shore, but like to meet all you guys, like you, Larry, Lexi, Liv, like everybody that has these way bigger pages, and every single one of you is super nice, and it's like, oh yeah, those are humans. Just because they have like 1 million followers doesn't mean any different. It's like, no, they're still human. They're still doing blue collar shit. Like, it's cool to like get that personal relationship and like, oh cool, like this is
man,
a good, genuine human, hardworking human that just wants to take care of their shit.
Do you know who Jeremy Littell is on TikTok and Instagram? He's all over the internet. The guy has like 15 million followers everywhere.
Maybe
he makes the little Johnny jokes.
Not off top, man.
Makes the little Johnny jokes. He has the kick-ass fucking beef jerky company.
Maybe
he was on the podcast.
Maybe if I saw space.
Yeah, he was on the podcast, episode 50, man. Big episode for me. He was on the podcast for episode 50, and he was talking about how we're all just people making videos, but he got lucky, right? We all got lucky. We just happen to be a goofball with a fucking camera in our face at the right time, right? Like, we're just like, hey, just being ourselves and posting it at the right time. The internet, man, the social media game is 90% luck, right? Oh, and also, I'd say 75% luck and 25%, how many punches to the face are you willing to take and get back up, right? Like, in terms of how many times you're willing to post a video that's gonna flop and do absolute trash and still keep coming back, knowing that the next one could be it, right?
Yeah. I'd agree with
We're
you.
all
And then,
we're all one video away from having a different life.
yeah, it's crazy, bro. It's like it's wild what you can do, and like to bring up like Lex and Liv again, like to see Lexi's process of like that girl goes and busts her ass all day and then comes home and edits content and is like making 30-minute YouTube videos and TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and doing all this stuff, and like just seeing the dedication and drive is cool. And then like because it's like they're both, or everybody that's at that point is like living proof of like cool, like what you said is you're not that far away from it, but like obviously you've got to grind and be willing to take those punches to the face, and then but it's there is something on the other side of it to like aspire to, and it's cool to see that and be so close to it.
Yeah, man, it's wild.
You know?
I haven't really, and that's Lexi Creations, right?
No, Lexi the electrician. That's
Lexi the
intro.
electrician. Oh yeah. I thought, what's her name is Lexi Creations there, but that's not her name. It's
No, it's Alexandria.
Alexandra. There, it was Alexandria.
Yeah.
That's Alexandra Creations. I like her shit too. That's cool.
Yeah, dude, she does some cool shit. Like that's, and she's always been so nice. Like it's
Yeah.
cool to see.
Yeah.
Cool to see a good, genuine human win.
Yeah, man, and that's for me. For me, my social media experience has been a lot of seeing a lot of really cool people win, a lot of nice people win. Now, on the other side of that, you also see a lot of dipshit people win too, right? A lot of horrible human beings out there are winning as well. But I said it the other day: what don't come out in the wash will come out in the rinse. So, and
I like
if
that.
you're not a genuine human being, someone will figure it out real quick, and it will expose you, right? And that's you just gotta be real. You gotta be true to yourself. And that's what I like about you, right? You can tell on your videos. You're a little quiet, you're a little shy, right? But you know your trade, you know your craft. And I figured, it would be a little bit like that. And dude, you're fairly quiet, a lot of like most podcasts, there's like we're talking, it gets a little louder, and like there's a lot of shit. It's been fun, but you can tell like you're a little quieter, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. It's
good.
It's who you are, and I love talking to people that are true to who they are, man. So like, yeah, man, it's awesome. That's who you are, and I fucking love it.
Well, thanks, man. That's
my
wife always teases me. My wife always teases because I'm 6'5", and she goes, "You were the biggest human, yet you were just a mouse." Like that's because that's default is just be quiet. Like I grew up, like my sister's loud, my dad's loud. Like it's just they could do that. I've got it.
Yeah, you're 6'5".
Yeah,
you're more than a foot taller than me.
Really?
Oh,
I
yeah,
wouldn't
I'm
have thought. I wouldn't
5'4".
have thought. I would not have thought that you were 5'4". I would have thought like you were, at least 5'9" to 6 foot somewhere in there.
I'm glad the camera adds like 10 inches, but fucking, oh shit. Guess what? I'm gonna put hey man, that guy that messaged me there the other day about making videos for him and moaning his name and shit like that and paying me the grand. I hope the camera adds 10 inches then too, man. We're about to make a lot of money over here. Oh man, my wife
That's
is
awesome.
my wife's like, "Are you gonna do it?" And I'm like, I don't know. It's weird. She's like, "Yeah, it's weird." I'm like, "But like, it's $1,000, right? Like, that's a car note, 2 car notes. That's like, I need a dishwasher, bro. And if my dick can get me a new dishwasher, why the fuck not, right? Like,
yeah."
and once again,
it's
part of
like,
that. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I just say like you said the other day, like I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah, man. I'm literally playing with it for free right now. Why not make a little money off of it, right? Right, like, why the fuck not? Right? And I took a note out of your book, right? Like, like I said, you know,
Mm.
some of your videos, and we all use shit from each other's videos. You made that video. It's like if I ever won $1 million, I wouldn't tell anyone, but there would be signs. You sitting on the beach. You were sitting on the beach in that video, right? And then that's when I'm like, when my dick money does come in, I ain't gonna tell anybody, but there will be signs. And I put the McDonald's up to my mouth. I was just like,
Yes.
free McDonald's, baby, all the time, right?
I love that.
So
That's perfect.
so many people, different people helped make that video come together. Someone commented on my post about it on Facebook and said, you would have a whole new career opportunity on your hands, or should I say in? And I'm like, oh, that's a good one. Right. So then I put that in the video too. Right. I'm like, damn, man, so many different people have helped make this video come together. So like it's so fucking weird. Like I'm not gonna lie and say I've never done it in a porta potty before, right? But like saying some other dude's name while I'm doing it in a porta potty, that's fucking weird. Like, what if it helps me imagine the dude like? That's fucking weird, bro.
Yeah, then you gotta like reassess. You're done at the end, which is like already a moment of like reflection of like, God, I'm dirty. But it's like you after that moment, you'd be like, is this what I'm into?
I messaged him the other day. I'm like, so how's it going? Yeah, I'm getting it. Like, I'm getting to know this dude now, right? And it was his boyfriend's birthday, so I fucking wished his boyfriend a happy birthday on his post. I'm like, happy birthday, bro, right? Like, yo, like this dude's about to see my dick, right? So happy birthday to that guy. Like, oh shit, man, like.
Oh, that's awesome.
I don't know. It's fucking weird though, right? Like, but $1,000, man. Like he said he would sign an NDA and he wouldn't show me anybody my face or anything like that. I don't trust it, but at the same time, you know, like what if he does? What if other gay dudes get a hold of what I'm doing? And now this is like a resume for me. You know, like I'm jerking off for Eric. Oh shit. I'm jerking off for this guy. I said his name by accident. I'm going to edit that out. So I'm jerking off for this guy, right? And, he goes and tells his other gay buddies. And now all the Rainbow Mafia's in my inbox. And like, hey, bro, we'll pay you $1,000 let's go. My name's Sean. My name's Brad. Like, I'm just like, Bradley. Yeah, you know? And it's like, I might retire by this time next year.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, why not? Like, it's always funny to me. Like it doesn't surprise me that you get it just because of your personality, but it's always funny to me to like see dudes that are like, no, what if a dude's looking at my stuff? Like, I'm not gonna start OnlyFans. What if it's dudes? And it's like, who cares? Like,
it's money, buddy.
It's
money. If you're selling your soul.
Yeah. It doesn't matter who got off to it. Like, if you're going down that route, whether it was a dude or a girl, like it's all good. Like, it's not. There's nothing wrong either way, but some dudes get so stuck on that of like, what if another guy watches me? I'm like, don't you, when you watch porn, do you see the other dick go in? Like,
yeah, I specifically watched that part. Like, you know, like, like, fuck yeah, why not?
Yeah, it's there, you know.
It's like, you know, it's funny because you know how like on the site everyone's like, oh, you're gay. What are you, gay today? You know, and some guys are like, only on Wednesdays, you know? Well, like, my thing is, I'm only gay on Sundays, and that's just to piss God off, right? Like, you know, and he thinks I'm down on my knees praying, but that's not what I'm on my knees for, right? And it's like, fuck, dude, like, man, some other dude's gonna, man, yeah, you know, the weirdest part would be moaning the name, I think, and like trying not to laugh while doing it, right? Like that's gonna be the hardest part besides my dick, right? So I mean, like,
right, yeah,
fuck, yeah, no, man, like I haven't watched porn with another dude before, right? Like, hey, bro, like, look at this, you know, like it's happened. It's kind of the same thing. I'm getting a chub while I'm sitting next to another dude, right? Like.
Yeah, it's like the strip club experience. It's all just like a conglomerate of dudes.
Yeah.
You know.
Like, yes. You know how I said like I took so many different things from that to make that video? You watch Two Turn Tony?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love Two Turn Tony. So the dude's on
Yeah.
OnlyFans, right? And I remember
Yeah.
one of his first big paydays. He walks into his dad's office with a duffel bag. No, he had a slingshot, and he used like wads of cash in the slingshot, and he slingshot the wads of cash at his dad. He's like, my dick just retired you, right? And then he
Yeah.
walks into his sister's room with a big bag of money and sets it down. It's like, my dick just paid for your education, right? And that's where I got like, when my dick money comes in, right? You know, like at the dick money thing is my dick money, right? I got it from Two Turn Tony. So like, fucking, I'd love to get that guy on my podcast, man. That guy's hilarious.
That'd be incredible. Yeah, that'd be incredible.
Yeah.
That dude is figured his shit out, you know. Like, and that's again, it's cool to see. So he seems decent, you know. It's cool to see a good guy win.
I bet you he's a douchebag.
Oh yeah. No, it is what it is, but
yeah. No, I don't know. I'm just going off of what Ski Mask Girl said after they broke up, but she could also just be saying that because she's heartbroken. So.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, there's two sides to everything, right?
Three. There's three. You're always finding the truth.
There's three. That's right.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, man. Hey, I don't know. I don't want to keep you too much longer, man. You've already been pretty generous with your time. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
all right. Fuck it. I won't end it then. Okay. Let's keep talking.
No, you're good. My wife's working. So, dude, are you familiar with like the Underground Railroad, like the Save Our Children guy, the Tim Ballard?
Yeah, of course. I went to go see that Sound of Freedom.
Sound of Freedom. Yeah. So Tim is, as if you know him, he's in some heat right now for you know his personal doings. But Christina said, she's like, he's been in here. She goes, I recognize that guy. Like, and so they've had like journalists come in and like other stuff. We're trying to figure out like where. I guess there's like a sum of money that went somewhere that it wasn't supposed to, and they like had basically like a lineup of like, do you recognize this girl? And so they all had to like, you know, answer it and do the thing. But it's been wild.
Wow. What's Tim and Heat for, man? I haven't heard of that. I haven't heard of the Tim Ballard Heat.
So I guess he had some money that was supposed to go to that foundation and has put it in other things, and like part of he's been, I guess he got caught in like the sense of like he was investigating, trying to find girls to save, but was partaking in a sense, right?
What?
And so, yeah, you know, whether it's like the massage parlor or whatever it may have been, I don't know the full. If my wife were here, she could correct me. But he's been in the street and like bought a girl a car and like other things of like playing the part of a girlfriend, but like, yeah, he's partaking in something that he was supposed to be against, I think is what the problem is, even though it's not like children.
That's good. Oh, at least it's not the children thing, right? Like,
no, he's not
huge.
Yeah.
That'd be a big black mark on that movie, and that movie was incredible.
Yeah, right. And yeah, it's just I think he just mismanaged some funds, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm gonna look more into that. That's interesting, man.
Yeah.
Fucking Tim Ballard, dude. Usually those scumbags that are all about it, you know, about not doing something are usually doing, you know, they're projecting. So.
Right. Yeah, and that's exactly what's occurred.
Interesting. That's wild, man. So, who like as your I guess masonry content creator, who are some of your favorite masonry other masonry creators? Because like you seem to be like the top of the food chain on the masonry content creation. Maybe I don't know. You're the one I see the most though. So like who else do you follow, and who would you say, you know, would be an amazing masonry content creator to follow other than Ashton? Because you know I already follow her. She's good shit.
Yeah, Ashton's awesome. That's that masonry girl for everybody else. Bench and Bricky, Harrison's cool. He's from the UK. Big dude, just mountain of a man, but he makes some hilarious masonry content. Mason, the Mason, that's a good kid. He's from the East Coast. And then there's a bunch of like guys that there's what's his name? Charlie G. It's Gee. That dude is a cathedral stonemason, and he's so like his videos are that super satisfying. Like he's in his 20s, but he's doing like they'll go into the cathedrals and do the restoration, and he does his videos are like time lapses or hyper lapses of him taking chunks of marble or whatever the material is and remaking all of the like intricate detail on those cathedrals and rebuilding them. That dude stuff is really cool. And then there's a couple other uh, I can't off the top of my head think of, but they do like they're more like super satisfying work versus the like in front of the camera style. And
Oh
they're doing
yeah,
like stonemasonry and brick and stuff like that.
that's
Yeah,
pretty
they're out
cool,
there.
man.
It's just yeah.
I'm
It
trying to get
seems
a
like
drone right now.
that would be dope. A drone would be
That
cool.
would be.
There's actually the job we're on actually has a giant banner that goes around the fence that says no trespassing and no drones, like every 5 feet. It's yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They
What
obviously had some issues in the past.
yeah. And I always wonder that too. Like of that's a question I wonder of like I wonder if the like NDA and the privacy and all that stuff was so prevalent before this became a thing, right? Like it's did anyone else have to like, hey, don't you can't take pictures and use it to promote your business or like, hey, no photography on site, like any of that stuff. I wonder how prevalent that was back before, the blue collar boom of social media. If like they
Yeah,
ever really gave a shit about it, or if it's just now that they're like, hey, like you can't do that. Like I wonder if that's a new thing or if it's always been around.
yeah. No, that's an interesting question. I'm gonna probably say like it's probably a fairly new thing, right? Like
Yeah.
like because of the blue collar boom on social media. Um, I don't know. Did you lose any videos over the last 24 hours? Any of your audio come down?
I haven't checked my TikTok notifications, but my wife did send me stuff about that of like UMG or whatever was removing a bunch of
Yeah,
stuff yesterday, but
yeah.
I haven't.
UMG and TikTok are beefing right now, and they pulled their licensing.
Yeah.
So any Taylor Swift music, fuck Taylor Swift. There's a lot of rap music. I've lost like 5 or 6 videos on TikTok just that I've seen.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't
Yeah.
checked, but I'm sure it does because I've used a million sounds, so I'm sure there's stuff in there, but I haven't taken the time today to go look at it.
There's over 3 million sounds that have been removed from TikTok over the last 24 hours since the UMC or UMG or whatever the fuck it's called, and
Yeah.
TikTok's licensing agreement came to an end. 3 million
Yeah.
sounds are gone.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
You would think as a business they would want to keep well, TikTok would want to keep that in because that's such an integral part of people's content and what like I don't know, like you think they wouldn't want to lose that. So it's wild.
it's not. Yeah. So, do you follow Brian Andrews?
No.
Brian Andrews is like a musician, but he's blue collar. He was a welder, and I think he worked on rigs and shit like that. And he was on the podcast, but he's a musician, and he was talking about it the other day. And he's like, as a musician, um, the machine, right, comes at
Mm.
their artist, which is wild. Comes at their artist with like a like an 85-15 deal, right, where the label gets 85% of whatever they make and the musician gets 15%. So it's ironic that a label is sticking up or trying to pose as sticking up for the artist not making any money off TikTok, when a lot of artists get discovered on TikTok. A lot of music blows up on TikTok, right? And he said the
Yeah.
ironic thing now here is that most labels don't want to look at you unless you've blown up on social media first.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
wild because I remember even Snoop Dogg had posted something about like because Spotify did their like how many streams whatever at the end of the year. And Snoop Dogg had, like whatever 1 point something billion streams. And he was like, I made a whopping like 40 grand off of that. Like which like in his pocket's nothing. To me, it would be
Yeah.
cool, but like it's
Yeah.
wild to see that. It's wild to see what like their cut, even for someone that big, like the cut is still clearly on the other side of that business.
Yeah, those guys still have to grind to make their money, right? They gotta do
Yeah,
and he was saying that like the label taking 85% of their money. That's just not streams and tours and concerts. That's everything. That's if they come out with
yeah,
merch, if they come out with a movie, if they come out with other deals, the label takes 85%.
that's insane. Like that's
Yeah,
yeah, like I get you see artists that go independent and it makes sense, but it's like what I guess you're going for like the fame and the notoriety, or like what? And artists are still wealthy in the sense of like the high up artists, but it's like what would pursue you to, or what would push you to pursue that contract where you're getting so fucked on your work? Like imagine like if someone was like, hey, for every brick you lay, you're only going to get like this teeny tiny percentage of it. And I'm like, yeah, I'll keep going to work. Or it's like, I guess I think that about mechanics all the time because they get paid like their hourly of like whatever the company is set. Where it's like
yeah,
our master mechanic can do it in 2 hours, so that's what you're getting paid. It's like, why would you want to do that?
yeah, yeah. Um,
Yeah.
so what is the going rate like the pay scale for bricklaying, right? Like is it
Mm,
piecework or is it hourly and then is piecework?
hourly. It's hourly. It's
Hourly.
hourly. So
Uh,
yeah, and like you could get production bonuses depending on where you work. Like it could be like, hey, this is the number you need to meet, anything over that. But it's hourly for the most part, and it ranges. It can be anywhere from like down south, you're only getting like $17 an hour versus up north, closer to you, those guys are making like 75 to 85 to $95 an hour as masons. And then
Jeez.
if they're going out on their own and doing like, I mean, you can't with a union, I assume. Utah's not a union state. Like there's no masonry union here.
It's a right to work
And
state.
yeah, and
Yeah.
so that's I don't have the I don't know that if you're in a unit you could go do side work. Like I don't know if you could go build someone's mailbox or not. But like if you're like here, I can go build a mailbox in 5 hours and make it charge them $1,500 and take home $1,200 profit in 5 hours. Or bid things at 32 to $36 a square foot for stone, or $4 a brick, or whatever it may be. And so it's like you can go once you're skilled enough, you can go spend a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or whatever, and go put a couple grand in your pocket, which is nice. And I assume the further or the closer you get to those guys that are making $90 an hour, that's probably even higher, which is ridiculous. Like there's guys
Fuck.
in I do know there's masons in Park City that are making more like 65 to 70 a square foot on stone, whereas like where I'm at 2 hours away from them, you're making 32 to 36.
Shout out to
But that's
Park
just
City,
hot.
Utah, man. When I went
Yeah,
to Salt Lake City, I went to Park City just because that's where the
yeah,
Olympics were, right? Went to the
yeah.
Olympic Park there, and we went down the Alpine coaster and shit, and that was a cool
Totally.
day, man. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a cool little town, man. I mean, it's obviously like Jackson Hole and turning into like it's for the wealthy, but it still has like a little, just the inkling of like the ski bum vibe in it.
yeah. We got a couple towns like that here. We got the Rocky Mountains in Alberta here, and we got Jasper and Banff. I don't know. Have you ever been to Jasper or Banff?
I've never been to Canada.
You need to come to
That's
Canada, man. Are you allowed in Canada?
I would assume so.
You don't
Is
have a
there anything
criminal
that
record?
no, no, I'm clean, dude.
Come
No,
on to
not even
Canada. Let's go, man.
not even an MIP. I somehow
Ooh.
stayed out of that.
What's an MIP?
Minor in possession, so like when you're drinking underage,
Oh, there you go.
you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
If you ever come to Canada and you go to the Rocky Mountains here in Alberta, everyone flocks to Banff. Banff is like the
Mm,
tourist hotspot, right? Beautiful
right.
sights, every good shit to see, good food. The Grizzly House. I prefer Jasper, which is north.
Okay.
Jasper's not as crowded. I think there's even better views there. A lot more wildlife.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's that'd be dope. I mean, that whole area just looks beautiful, like that. Like this whole western side of Canada looks awesome. At least from what you see on Instagram and people's pictures. And then, but
man. Well, when you're seeing
I
pictures of Alberta, I guarantee you no one's putting out pictures of downtown Edmonton. And welcome to downtown Edmonton. On your left, you're going to see the biggest tent city you've ever seen in your life. Pay no attention to the lady getting Narcaned over there on the right. Yeah, you're not seeing that. You're not seeing that in the pictures
no,
of Alberta.
no, no. I'm just looking. I'm looking at the pictures of the blue lake. The sound.
Yeah, 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 pretty much.
Yeah.
Shit.
I was gonna say I do have on the schedule my first trip to Canada because Fracco, we're gonna go up to see the headquarters. The people that gave me the exoskeleton,
Yeah, that was
they
cool.
want to. I don't know. I think they're in Montreal, but Quebec, Montreal, whatever. Which one's the province?
That's not
Is it
Canada.
Quebec?
Montreal or Quebec is not a province in Canada. They're not a part of Canada. Like they're in
They're just over
Canada,
there.
but like we don't like Quebec. No, Quebec doesn't even like Quebec. Quebec doesn't want to be here, and we don't want them here. So like
Okay.
hey, bonjour,
Yeah.
les Quebec, la belle province, huh? Bonsoir, tabernacle. We don't like Quebec.
Okay.
And if anyone in
So
here
that's
is from
not.
Quebec, I'm sorry. Don't
We'll
stab me.
I'll pretend that I'm gonna pretend that I went to Canada just because it's the first time, but I'll keep that in mind that I need to go to real Canada.
You need to go to real Canada, Alberta. You need to go to Alberta or Saskatchewan. That's real Canada. If you want to get stabbed or shot downtown Manitoba, Winnipeg, which is in Manitoba, that is stabbed or shot. You're right there. If you want to, I don't know. Do you vote liberal or conservative? None of my business, but.
Let's financially conservative, but there's liberal social views sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
think
I get you.
let humans do whatever the fuck they want to do. I don't care.
There you go. That's a very conservative fucking answer. So, if you want to go to Toronto and become a liberal lover, that you go to Ontario. Go visit Ontario. Southern Ontario, nice spot if you're a liberal. Good place. BC, if you like your tree, you want to be an MIP, you go there. You go there. That's your place. Yep. So in the East Coast, I don't know, lobster fishing. I don't fucking know. Get drunk and go lobster fishing. I've never been east of Montreal, so yeah.
Go find Drake's house. That's about it.
Drake is in Toronto, so that is
yeah.
I've seen Drake's house. Before it was fully built and after it was fully built.
Yeah. That's dope.
You drive by it right off Lakeshore Boulevard. Everybody knows where it is.
So is that near you, or is that over on the east?
That would be near where I'm from originally. It's like half hour, 45 minutes from where I'm from originally. Where I live now, I live way out west. So I live where the net earners live.
What does that mean?
So you got your welfare recipients, and then you got everyone that wants to work for their money, right? I'm over on the net. I'm a net earner, not a net receiver. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. Got it. I don't know if I can put it that way. I mean, that's a little bit harsh, I guess. I don't know. Fuck them. I don't know.
I get it.
Well, man, this has been a lot of fun. I'm gonna ask one more question. I usually like to wrap the podcast up with one more question here, and that's Mount Rushmore has 4 of the most influential people in North American history up on that rock. So if you could have your own Mount Rushmore with 4 people that you look up to or inspire to be or have inspired you, who would they be and why?
Dude, the first is I can knock out 2 real easy because that's mom and dad, right? That's easy. and that's
Okay.
obvious because of the hard work and everything they put in, and that's very relevant to my life.
And your dad
Um,
didn't pull out, so I mean, you got to thank him for that.
yeah, yeah, he deserves to be his hit. That's funny enough. He always said he did porn back in the '70s, and his name was Rush Mountmore. So
Oh shit!
that I just remembered that. But yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. Let's see. I've never really thought about this, Dick. Like who I would put on Mount Rushmore.
It can be dead, alive, fiction, nonfiction. Doesn't matter, man.
Yeah. Um, that's weird. Yeah, on the spot. I don't know.
That
Fuck, Dick.
stumps
I don't
everyone.
know.
Stumps a lot of people,
Yeah,
man. I love it. I love it.
yeah.
That's why I ask it
It's
at the
not.
end, right?
Yeah, it's not. So I guess it's just not something that's crossed my mind. Um, and it's like my brain wants to go to like the mentors that I've had and like but I couldn't narrow down all of the journeymen that have helped me in my life to the four, whether it's all the guys on my crew that have helped me throughout my life, whether or yeah, I don't know how to narrow that down.
You're on the
What's
spot. You gotta pick
help me
four. You
help
the clock is
help me
ticking
out
down. At the end of it, we all die if you
help me
don't
out
answer.
who's on your
Oh
Mount Rushmore?
shit!
Help me out.
So my dad is on my Mount Rushmore,
Yeah.
but not for the reasons everyone else would have their dad on there. My dad is a beacon of who I'm not going to be.
Okay.
I look up there and I see, all right, I need to take a different path. Like I need to go the complete opposite way. My
Yeah.
wife would be up there, along with my wife and my kids would share a rock face. It would be cool. My
Yeah.
Nana, I met her 11, 12 years ago, something like that. My dad was
Hmm.
adopted when he was a kid, and they found each other after 50 years. And so my Nana,
Cool.
yeah, man, I was like 23 or whatever when I first met her. And I started talking, and she had a lot of solid life advice for an old lady who wasn't a part of my life at all.
Yeah.
She rushed in there to be like that grandparent that I never had that I needed. So I was like, that's fucking
Yeah.
awesome. She said something to me that
That's
I'll
cool.
never forget, and I was very lost. But I was trying to portray that I wasn't, but it wasn't fooling her or anyone probably.
Hmm.
But she said, one day you're gonna discover who you are, and you're gonna come into your own, and
Yeah.
and I can't wait for that moment. Like you're gonna turn into the person that you're meant to be, and right now
Yeah.
you're not there, and I know I can see it, and I stood beside myself as I became that person, and I just think of her every time I'm watching, you know, from
That's cool.
like a point of view, you know what I mean? And then Austin
Yeah.
Matthews, number 34, first line center for the Toronto Maple Leafs,
I dig it.
because he's a
Okay.
fucking machine.
I like it. I like that. And yeah, I mean that I shouldn't go without saying my wife because that woman is fiercely on my side. And like, if someone's gonna like, as simple as like, if someone's gonna go after the people in my comments, it's my wife. Like, my wife
And
is
she's a
the
stripper.
yeah, yeah, and she is the like you get my demeanor of like the quiet, like I'm that way. Like she is the hey, like if someone messed up my order at the restaurant, she's gonna tell them, not me. That's
There you go.
but she's also very sweet. She's very sweet. She's just very fiercely in my corner. Um, so you've got that. So let's say mom and dad share one. You've got my wife. You'd have my grandpa, my great grandpa Gene. I have his dog tags that hang from the mirror of my truck. That dude
That's
was
cool.
very important. Yeah, and I knew him till I was 13, so he was around for a long time. And that dude was always my hero. Like that, just good old boy farmer. Always had the overalls. We'd pick the kids up on the tractor. That was him. That dude was really cool. And then to that same point, you would put my grandpa Dub. Grandpa Dub passed away. It's got to be a year now, year and a half. But Grandpa was, gosh, I think he made it to 90. Dementia,
Oof.
kicked in. that's what got him. But I remember last time I saw my grandpa in person, he was 88, and the dude had his own mechanic shop that my uncles now run. My aunt and uncle own it. But the last time I saw my grandpa, he was standing in the engine bay of a semi working on it. Like the dude just never gave up. Like even to the day before he passed away, he was out in his garden doing stuff, carrying on. And it was just my granny said she went in the morning and like it was like 4 o'clock and he was still breathing, and then she came back in at like 6 and had passed away in his sleep. But he's that dude, like he was, again, to use the word fiercely, like he was fiercely about his family and like getting all of us to progress. And like he had, some backward ways. He's from the South. He's a little rough around the edges. Like I remember when I was a kid learning how to ride a bike, he had a willow tree in his front yard. Every kid had a can-do stick that like it was a switch, right? If you said you couldn't do something, he was following you with a switch. So like the training wheels came off very quick. Like because if you said like, oh, I can't ride this bike, he's right behind you with a switch, and like you learn, I got to get momentum to get away from grandpa. And it wasn't that he was abusive; he was just that's how he was. Like teach me how to play baseball. If he'd throw heat in there, and if I moved away, he had another baseball ready. Like that was coming right back at me. He's like, don't move away from stuff. And there's a lot of life lessons that learned from that guy. And then
Hell yeah.
so yeah, I'd say mom, dad, my wife, my great grandpa Gene, and Grandpa Dub. That's now that I've had the time to think about it, those four would easily be up there, or five would easily be up there.
That's why I asked, man. And that's okay to have more than four. The original Mount Rushmore was supposed to be expanded upon, but after World War II, the guy who created it actually went off to fight in World War II, and his son didn't want to continue on without his dad, and didn't think there was anyone else worthy of being put up there because of the men that were up there and the men that he saw coming to lead the country in their place, and didn't think anyone else belonged up there. So and he's not wrong. He hasn't been wrong since then either. Really. Well, I don't really want to get into that, but I'm Canadian. I don't know shit. So no, man. And that's why I asked. That's why I asked, man. That's why I ask that question. Because you learn a lot about someone's answers. But like, dude, you learn a lot. You could tell a lot from your demeanor and how you are, and the way you put effort into your videos and your work. Your grandpa, the can-do stick there. He probably there's probably a lot of him. In everything you do. So that's huge.
100%. Yeah. 100%. And that's both those grandparents listed were the same. Like my grandpa Gene had 4 heart attacks before. Like he just wouldn't give up. Like he was just, that's how he was. And, out on the farm, taking care of his family, doing whatever he had to do. Both those men were that way. It's just very fierce family men, and like wanted to be in all of our lives, whether it was their grandparent or their grandkid, their great grandkid. Like they knew all of them, even though there's hundreds of us for my great grandpa, because he's on the Mormon side, and not saying that there's multiple wives, but there's a lot of children.
I love it. Yeah, grandpa was a dirty dog.
Yeah, thanks for making me think about that. That's good, because that's, like you said, those are 5 people that are very, very strong anchor points in my life. So yeah, thanks for making me think about that. That was good.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah, dude. That's how I love it in the podcast that way. You hear the whole podcast not being serious, never knowing whether they're gonna be talking about my dick or work or my dick money or like viscous loads, and then you go the whole podcast that way, and then you end it on like oh shit, you're making me think, right? I love doing that. Like you someone comes in with their walls up, not knowing what to expect. I tear the walls down, and at the end I make them vulnerable. Like look at that. Look at that.
Yeah, you did good, dude. You got me, because I've just been like in this fun like conversation, and I was like, fuck, now I gotta think. Like he actually, that's good. I like that. That's
Hell
good.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for coming on, man. Like I love
thanks
that.
For having me.
The podcast is my baby, right? So like I get excited when I go to record. I get excited during recording, and then I listen to it back a few times. I'll figure out how I could do better, or how awesome it was. And then I get pumped up, for the week before it comes out. And then the day it comes out, I'm like, all right, there's like 8 hours till it comes out. All right, there's 4 hours.
Yeah.
All right, it's half an hour, and then it comes out, and I'm just fucking like, yeah, right. And then, man, it's a lot of fun, man. It's my pastime, it's my outlet, and it's my baby.
Yeah, good, man, good. I'm glad that you have that. Like because you can see it. Like I can see how like your face brightens up and you're excited about it. And I'm so glad that you have that. And again, I'm so thankful for having me on here. Thanks for the 2 hours. That was like that did not feel like 2 hours at all. So thank you.
No, dude, and some of them are close to 3, right? And that's crazy, right? Like sometimes they have a hard time getting to fucking 10 minutes, dude. I'm telling you, like sometimes you're just like, this person's fucking boring and I have my work cut out for me. Like I gotta really dig deep here to make this interesting. And we always do. But it's right off the hop, it's hard, right? But I'm glad that you're like the face is glowing and shit like that. My uncle and my grandmother, my nana, they said to me once, I'm like a dog with a bone, right? Like once I got an idea what I'm going, I'm not stopping until I get what I want, right? And my wife says the same thing. And podcast, man, this is my bone, right? I'm a dog with a bone, and I like to talk. Talking's my wheelhouse. I'm like a sponge. I like to learn about people and what makes them tick, why they do what they do, and shit like that. So this is my element, right? So
I love that. Good, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. I love it, man. Thanks for coming on, buddy.
Of course. Thanks for having me. Thanks for being persistent and patient. I'm sorry it took so long to get on here.
Dude, it doesn't matter. The podcast isn't going anywhere. If I have to ask now, if I have to ask 10 times before we get you on, it's not going anywhere. Yeah. I don't care about the numbers. If it does bad, it does. It's not. It's doing really good. But if it does bad, like it's still my thing. I don't give a shit how it does. I'm not in the whole social media game for numbers anymore. The numbers are cool. It's an added bonus, but I'm not there for numbers anymore. I'm there because I'm having fun. So, and once you take the numbers and where we're monetized and shit, once you add money to something, it becomes a job, and you could really quickly lose your passion. So I stopped thinking about the money on Facebook and the social media money other places, and just think about how much fun it is to do it. Right. So. It's not like a job. I'm having fun with it. So, and I am making it at work. So I am double dipping. So fuck it. I'm making money.
Hell yeah. Good.
Yeah, man. Hey, stay frosty.
Hey, take care, brother.
All right, buddy. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.